Since the beginning of pandemic, there have been a lot of policy changes affecting international students.
So in this video, we're going to mention 5 major policy changes that are extending into 2023.
So if you're interested with that, continue watching. The policy number 1 is the 20-hour rule, allowing international students working more than 20 hours.
Yeah, this is the biggest policy change, and many of you have probably heard about it. The Canadian government has come up with this because of the labor shortages after the pandemic. You can work more than 20 hours per week off campus,
allowing that you have submitted your study permit application on or before October 7, 2022.
Yep, and this program goes until the end of December 31st, 2023.
So let's say you submitted your application on or before October 7, 2022, and then you get approved eventually, you will definitely benefit on this change.
Yeah, and one other point that I think is very good here, you can gain more hours of work experience. They don't count towards immigration, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's still good for applying for work. You just have more experience and higher chances to find a job.
Especially for students who have already a full-time job before graduation, most likely the company will retain you, and then that company will help you get your residency as well. Now let's talk about the policy number 2. So because of the pandemic, most students were not allowed to enter Canada, and therefore the government of Canada implemented some temporary measures so that the student can still continue studying here in Canada. And this one allowed them to study online, even outside Canada.
Usually you have to complete 100% of your program in person in Canada in order to be eligible for a post-graduation work permit. But because of the pandemic and students were prevented from entering the country and therefore could not study in person, they made an exemption that you could study online.
For that reason, the government of Canada implemented 2 facilitation measures. So basically, they have a full and the reduced facilitation. So for the full facilitation measures, for the student who started their program between March 2020 and August 2022, they're allowed to finish their program online up to 100%, and they can still do it until August 2023 and still be able to get their post-grad work permit. And for the reduced facilitation measures, on the other hand, the student who started their program between September 1st, 2022 and August 31st, 2023 are required to finish the program at least 50% in person. Basically here in Canada. You should be here in Canada. And you can do this until August 31st, 2023, and please still be able to get the PGWP.
The third change is about traveling to Canada and COVID regulations. Since October 1st, 2022, all the COVID regulations are suspended. That means no more testing, no more proof of vaccination, no more arrive can, no more masks on planes or trains, and no more quarantine. The only exemption is if you are traveling from China, Hong Kong, or Macau, you still have to provide a negative COVID test result.
So now let's talk about the post-grad work permit. Originally, post-grad work permit, you cannot extend this permit. So basically, because of the pandemic and labor shortages, the Canadian government allowed the PGWP holders with an expiration date between September 2021 and August 31st, 2022 to extend their permit until May 2023. So if you're holding a PGWP right now, make sure that you take note of this temporary policy. And if you're thinking to immigrate after graduation, the experience that you will accumulate during your PGWP is also gonna count towards your skilled work experience for your permanent residency. By the way, if you're thinking to study here in Canada and you're still outside of Canada, make sure that you connect with us. We have a lot of free downloadable PDFs that will help you kickstart your journey to Canada. Now, our next policy is for those people who will be applying for permanent residency and will be taking their medical examination.
If you have already taken your medical examination from within Canada and you're currently waiting for your PR to get approved, but your medical exam is about to expire, then you may not have to take it again.
Because I remember when we apply for a permanent residency, our medical examination have already expired and we have not gotten our PR. And I was insisting Felix to get a medical examination, but then he said, nope, I'm not getting one because it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like $300 to $500.
Yeah, so we got our PR without, redoing the medical examination.
Yeah, and this policy is in effect from October 5th of 2022 for 24 months or until it's revoked.
So all the policies that we have mentioned in this video, this might change eventually. So make sure that you also do your research.
And also keep in mind that we only mentioned briefly the major changes of those policies. Please verify the detailed information and what applies to you on the CIC website. We have all the links in the description below.
Yes, so thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to watch the next video where we talk about the 5 reasons to study in Canada. Thank you guys for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Paalam! Ciao!
Bye.